Welcome, everyone, to the Lansing Catholic Podcast. My name is Father Joe.
And I'm Mr. Stolpa, Dean of Intellectual Formation. Father, you forgot your title.
I'm the chaplain, in case anyone forgot.
We should switch titles one day.
That would throw people off.
Throw God off, too. Yeah.
So we're doing a special episode where we're just here to talk about something going on here at school, a big project called Cougar Commons. And here to talk more about that is, first of all, our development director, Mrs. Paula Wilcox. Welcome, Paula.
Thank you.
Not your first time on the show, but good to have you back.
Appreciate it.
So my name is Mike Barker. I own Elevate Outdoor Living, and so we designed and built the project for the Cougar Commons. A lot of fun.
It's moving along. It looks really cool. It's kind of fun when you're here during lunch. You can just look out the windows. Is it distracting having people on the glass watching you guys?
You know, it was funny because we were like, man, we feel like we're in a zoo a little bit.
All the kids.
Well, yeah, but you're the opposite though. You're the attraction.
It goes both ways. Oh, 'cause we know what's going on inside. We can kind of peek at them and see them eating.
So your story about being like zoo animals reminded me of doing a retreat one time where we were on. It was a 30-day silent retreat in South Dakota. So not a whole lot of exciting entertainment going on around us. It was good.
Apologies to all the people living in South Dakota right now. I think we just offended them.
There were some farmers around, and so one day there was a guy who was harvesting all of his hay crops and making these giant bales of hay, and then a tractor with these big fork things would stab into it, pick it up, and load it on his trailer. And that was the most exciting thing we'd seen in several weeks. So first there was one guy standing there watching, and then two, and then before there was 15 guys. So I was thinking, these farmers must be these guys need to get more of a life if this is the most exciting thing they have going on.
It was funny, the big thing, all the kids come out at lunch, right? So while we're out there, we can smell what's cooking. And so we would always try and guess, all right, what is it today? Is it Bosco sticks? You can tell,
Bosco sticks is usually
you can tell pizza,
guess.
You can tell what day's pizza and all that. And then my daughter Riley would bring us cookies every once in a while. So it was great working here.
So Paula, where did this idea come from for the Cougar Commons? And how did you get Mike involved?
As you know, we have our annual fundraising event, Corks and Cuisine, and we're always looking for something, some sort of project that maybe we can complete in a year, something a little bit on a smaller scale, that is really advantageous and going to be beneficial for the entire student body and staff. Back in 2023, believe it or not, this has kind of been in the works that long, I was approached by some of the faculty who really wanted an outdoor space. They wanted an outdoor classroom. And in 2023, I thought, that's perfect. That's great. We're all over it. And in my mind, it was something sort of modest, just a dedicated space, might have some outdoor furniture, maybe a dry erase board, that kind of thing. What can we do to provide something for our students, for our staff, like an impromptu, hey, it's a nice day, let's go out to the classroom, outdoor classroom. Corks and Cuisine event started fundraising in 2023 for that. We didn't have any plans. We didn't have any great concept. We were just how much can we get and where? And that's when Mike and his wife Samantha approached me. And what I love about this is that they didn't even have a student coming here at that time. Riley, their daughter, was an 8th grader at the time. And so they had just come to the Corks and Cuisine event to check out our Lansing Catholic community and have a good time. And they approached us, and Mike was like, hey, this is what I do. And I want to get involved. This sounds awesome. And both him and Samantha were on board from the beginning. And I was thrilled because I really didn't have a direction to go with, and he provided that. And as we started talking about it, as we sat down with our president, Dominic Iocco, to get his vision, very quickly it evolved from a simple sort of outdoor classroom space into something bigger. And that's when Dominic really wanted more of a community space. A larger space where maybe an entire house could gather, providing a lot more versatility. And my favorite line was Mike looks at me and says, do you mind if I just kind of run with this a little bit? Which is, music to my ears. He's the expert. And I'm like, absolutely. And so he did. And what he came back with absolutely blew me away. And that is what is now affectionately referred to as the Cougar Commons.
So have you done something like this before, Mike, or did you already had a blueprint, a layout, and hey, I really want to add these different elements to this?
What we mainly specialize on is residential backyards, residential spaces. And so we get to create for homeowners, an oasis in their backyard. And this one's really fun, just because it's at the school and it's going to impact, not just the kids that are here this year and next year and whatnot, but this is generational impact that we have. And so I really felt like we just had to go over the top. We almost had to give a college campus vibe where the students want to be outside. And I love bringing people outside and bringing people together in our spaces. It's one of the most fun and rewarding things that we get to do. And I was like, man, what better way to do it than, at a high school when, there's going to be hundreds of kids coming out here, at a time, all the time, and for years to come. It's really fun.
We're currently in phase 1, so how about you describe a little bit about what has happened so far? What's the layout out there right now?
Yeah, so as this project kind of grew in scope, so did the price tag, as it often does. So we very quickly realized that we are going to have to fundraise, over some time and start doing this in phases. But it was important to Mike and I both that the initial phase was something that was very usable. So we identified the area that's just outside of the cafeteria, concrete slab out there originally with some picnic tables so that the kids could enjoy lunch on the warmer days. So we took that area. I'll let Mike kind of talk about the details because there was a lot more space back there than we realized once we started clearing some stuff up. And what we were able to do, I think, in phase 1 is going to be super usable, even for the students this year come springtime, and then what we're planning for phase 2.
It was kind of a mess back there. Like, it was random
Going back
bushes
to-
and bundles and brush. So
With the zoo theme of
yeah, it really did look
Yeah.
like that zoo theme.
It was,
Probably found some missing kids back there too.
Yeah, just once we cleared everything out, we were like, we could leave it like this. I think they'd be pretty happy. But yeah, I mean, it was a garden space before, and it was pretty overgrown and kind of unusable. Really hard to maintain with what was there, and so we really wanted to create this kind of courtyard feel. Raise planters that not just add clean landscape and green space, but those are actually used for places for the students to sit and kind of hang out around. We have 2 pads, where we're going to have picnic tables so the kids can come outside and eat. And then, also, host events as the school sees fit. I think it's an extension of the school at this point, is what I would like to think.
It looks like you're putting a fountain in. Are you putting a fountain in out there as well?
So that is the plan, is to put a fountain in and really have that be kind of the center feature right when you walk out. Have I love trying to add the sound of water in any project that we can, and it's just a very unique courtyard look to it. And I think what better way than to have a fountain in the middle there.
So Elevate Construction, this is kind of your baby, what you do. You founded this from scraps. Is this your family business? Tell us about Elevate.
Yeah, so my story. I actually started this business in high school. I started when I was 16, just mowing grass. And
For all the kids in the entrepreneurship class, listen to that.
Yep, maybe I should watch. But school was not my forte. And I struggled to get through it. But where I went to Hazlitt, and I was very fortunate to be able to do co-op where I could leave school and go to work and get credit, and so that really helped me. I basically just grew it from there, and just with a lot of work. I did a little bit of college, but it was pretty much just working in this trade, and then it's evolved to what it is now. It's been a fun ride, and yeah, it's been school of hard knocks learning.
But you've gone from the cutting grass to the very hardscapes and the stonemasonry and the things like that. So you definitely had to use. Let's just be honest, some of that trigonometric things. Let's get the academia in there as well.
You know what? There is more math involved than I even knew existed, when I first started, and it's a lot of fun, just between elevations, and there's a lot of geometry involved. There's an enormous amount of, education, and the nice thing is I've gone and gotten some education in the industry, which I really enjoy. We continue to do that, every year. It's just keep getting better and, getting better at our craft and what we do. So, yeah.
So if you guys say this is phase 1, what comes after this current phase here? What are you guys looking to do next?
Just to back up for a hot second, phase 1 is a lot of the hardscape like we talked about, and we thought that was important. One, as Mike referenced, it's an extension of the school, and we actually plan to reorient the doors to the outside so that there's 2 set of double doors going off the center of the cafeteria right to that fountain area. So it will change sort of the focus and scope of how that outdoor space is utilized. And the hardscape is done so that we can still utilize it for lunchtime for the students to go out. We are currently purchasing some furniture that's going to be kind of convertible, that we can use it as a picnic table, we can use it as a bench, or it can be flipped and be a desk. So we're looking at those types of options for our students so that we can have the most versatility and use out there. The water feature will be hopefully coming in the spring. spring, I think will be a nice addition. And then one of the biggest features, one of the focal points, is this large pavilion that we're creating with artificial turf underneath. So there will be a large shaded area so that it's comfortable out there if you want to take a classroom, if a house wants to come out maybe on their feast day and have a celebration. So that's probably the biggest part of phase 2 is the installation of that pavilion. I'll let Mike talk about that. It's pretty sizable. I'm excited about it. It gives us a lot of versatility out there too.
Yeah, it's 40 by 40.
Yeah.
You'll be able to fit. You could fit a whole house out there. I would say. I mean, it's 1,600 square feet. That's a lot of space. So
for those listening, it's behind the softball field roughly. Is that what we're looking at here, or kind of in between that softball outfield?
So as we step off of the paver area, right, it's going to immediately transition right into artificial turf. The cool thing with artificial turf is, there's no maintenance to it. It's kind of a one and done thing. I don't know. You'll have laying on it. You'll see kids just laying on it. Usable space for a long term, low maintenance. But then we're going to have this 40 by 40, like a canvas top pavilion out there. So that's going to be kind of the shaded area on the far side. Kind of towards the end, towards the softball fields. We're going to build a little riser to almost be a stage, if you will, to where we can have announcements or, set up a DJ for, some event or something like that. And so that's kind of the phase 2 is this extension with the pavilion, the turf. It's just another enormous usable space. And that's really what's going to be, I think that's really when it'll hit people and go, wow, this is something cool. This is something different that we get to enjoy.
In all your designs, have you ever had to incorporate a 9-square game into your...
This is definitely the first one. I've been told by my daughter multiple times, but also multiple people that the 9-square has to be included in the design.
This is a game that I honestly thought Father invented when I kind of came here 4 years ago, and all of a sudden I had never heard of this thing, and he's out there building it with his 4x4s and 2x4s and everything like that. So it is a fascinating game that our kids love.
And I'm glad you brought it up because that is one of the first things I did tell Mike that, okay, this is the one thing you will have to incorporate. It will have to stay.
The original design and build, yep.
The project was designed around the 9-square. I made it work with the 9-square.
I like telling people that my one legacy for all my time here as chaplain will be the 9-square game.
Oh, we got Cougar Chat.
People will remember. Well, they'll probably forget about that, but the 9-square, that will go on for generations.
Wow, very good. So, Mike, if someone else wants to hire you, how would they get a hold of you after you're done with us, of course?
Our website, elevate-mi.com, is a great place to start. You can kind of see what we get to build. I'm on Instagram a lot. I do stories all the time. I'm going to put you on our story. We're podcasting today. And it's kind of our own little HGTV that, I control.
Elevate GTV, Elevate TV, something like that.
Yeah, but no, that's where you can find us.
Very good.
Yeah.
What if we had a 9-square game with your construction guys at the end of the project?
That would be...
Do you have 9 of them?
That'd be a lot of fun. Well, I think we can recruit some students. So
yeah, get some students to see if you can beat them in 9-square.
Certain ones, the tall ones are pretty.
Yeah,
you gotta watch out for those.
I think probably the closest thing that we've played is cross net, and I think that's kind of like the 4-square. But 9, you got to be on point the whole time,
spinning
right?
around in circles sometimes.
Yeah,
to keep track of that ball.
And is it to get it in the middle? Is that you score a point?
You want to get you've never really done points. It's just to kind of move around
to get that person.
Yeah, you want to get to the middle. That's
the middle is like
the king of the hill.
That's the king spot.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But if you get it into any one square and they fail to catch it and drop it or something, then they're out.
They're out, and then you move.
Yeah, but that could happen if you're in the middle too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of collusion too among the students. You got to watch out for the ones who are friends.
Yep.
Because they'll give each other eye looks and things like this.
They're strategizing.
All of a sudden you're getting hit in the head, and it's just not fun.
They'll set it up just right so they can spike on you, and then you're done for.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So watch out.
It looks like an interesting game. I mean, it seems intense. So we're excited.
It's hard when it gets too cold to play. We try playing like as late in the year as possible, but eventually it's like, sorry guys, it's too cold.
Yeah.
But then springtime we'll be back, and
we'll be back hopefully in no time.
Paula, any upcoming things?
Well, of course, we have our Corks and Cuisine event that's coming
course.
up. So save the date for that, January 31st. We are having the 80s tribute band Star Farm back by popular
Oh,
demand.
is this an announcement here?
It
this,
is.
Oh, here we
Yes.
go. Breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news. They will be coming back and performing for us. They had so much fun last year, so they wanted to come
Dance
back.
floor and everything?
Oh yeah,
Excellent.
it'll be a ton of fun. So, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't recognize a couple people, because we fundraised for the Cougar Commons for 2 years now. So there's a tremendous number of donors, parents, community members who've contributed to this project, and so I want to thank them. And we'll be emailing them their updates, what's been happening. They'll see some new pictures. They'll be able to listen to this podcast to hear about all the cool stuff that we've been doing in regards to that project. And I know that Mike has done a lot of work working with local vendors, helping us bring the cost down as much as possible. So I give a lot of credit to Mike and appreciate his involvement and effort, and really trying to make this the most economical type of project and to benefit our students.
Yeah, I want to put a shameless push in also that we really need to fundraise for the doors from the cafeteria going out into the space. That is the connection from the inside to the outside. It's not the corner door. We need the 2 new doors into the space. That is a necessity.
So explain that a little bit, because I've heard this and I agree, but people might not know what you're talking about.
So in the middle of the cafeteria, there's 4 windows or 5 windows, right? The 2 middle windows the plan was to convert them to doors. And that is going to be that's the gateway into the new space, so that way the students don't have to go out the cafeteria over to the corner door that they currently have to right now. So
plus those doors would open directly into the water fountain, which is like the central point. So just aesthetically, it's a much more attractive entry point.
It's really what is going to make the wow of the space and make the full use out of the space. So those doors are a must. Those doors are a must. We need those.
So we should put a button here, Father, where people can donate to the door fund.
That to the
door
notes.
fund.
That's right.
But realistically, if people did want to donate, where would they go to contribute to this, Paula?
We'll have that available on our website. We'll have a special giving page just for the Cougar Commons. We'll be sending out emails and putting some shout-outs on social media where that link will be available directly. And if they would like to donate, they can do that and continue so that we can complete phase 2.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Well, thanks so much, Mike. It's a pretty cool project. Happy to see it come to completion. Good work, Paula.
Although we'll miss you out there when it's done.
Yeah. Well,
get some zoo animals to replace you guys.
Maybe we just put on loop, you guys, like somehow put us on the screens, and it's just over and over, you guys still working, and it's just perpetual working. Yep. Oh, they're still working out there. Yep. Everyone's getting all mad.
We'll get screens we pull down over the windows or something.
Well, thanks everybody for listening. This is the Lansing Catholic Podcast. Be sure to tune in for all the latest and greatest at Lansing Catholic. I'm Father Joe.
And I'm Mr. Stolpa.
We'll see you next time.